portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
The National Insurance Board has announced that as of July, pensioners will see a 2.3% increase in their payouts. Now, the increase comes as changes to NIB Act 2010 will allow for or will cause for automatic increases in payouts as the cost of living rises.
Now, under the changes, the maternity benefit, which is now $450, will go up to $465. The funeral benefit will jump from $1,680 to $1,720. Additionally, the insurable wage ceiling will increase from $600 to $620 per week for a new total of $2,688 monthly. Labor Minister Shane Gibson says prior to these changes, increases had to be taken to Parliament for approval, making it seem political. But he says the changes will alleviate that notion. Opposition leader Hubert Minnis is accusing the government of forming a national intelligence agency without the proper legal framework in place. He said a contract was issued to former Defense Force officials and monies have set aside. He also claims that officers from the armed forces make up the unit. The FNM leader says concern over crime must be used as an excuse to create what he calls a secret agency with the potential to violate citizens' rights to privacy.
The minister himself said that they would gather intelligence information for crime. He also admitted that there's no legal framework or regulatory framework for the functioning of such organization. So that organization is working outside the framework of the law. Now they can obtain and gather information, personal as well as non-personal information on you, media, members of the press, on politicians, the FNM, and use it for other purposes.
Now, over the weekend, the Minister of National Security addressed the issue, saying there's nothing unusual about the agency as national intelligence agencies exist in many countries. He says NIAs assist in the crime fight as they supplement the gathering of information against criminals. Now, regarding legislation, Dr. Noddard said that will provide the legal framework and the draft legislation is virtually completed. When it's finished, he said it would be taken to Parliament.
All right, well, coming up, hear more about a cleaner, greener environment.
And coming up in sports, softball action underway in Abaco. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm C.S. Scatterly. Developers behind the multi-million-dollar Albany project says it could open South Ocean's golf course within 3 months once the government approves its request to acquire the nearby property. Albany's Senior Vice President Dr. Tyrone McKenzie said the resort had offered to assist the government in developing a golf course that would be accessible to the public.
We need to control or be a part of the environment beyond our property boundaries, and so we feel addressing the aesthetics immediately is certainly a plus for us and the country.
The Bahamas Golf Federation had previously attempted to secure a 2-year deal to lease the South Ocean Resort's golf course with its current owner, the Canadian Commercial Workers Industry Pension Plan, but that has proven to be unsuccessful to date. McKenzie was the keynote speaker during a Rotary Club of West Nassau meeting. The resort currently features its own Ernie Els designed 18-hole championship golf course, which opened in 2010. In other business news, Bahamians will soon be able to enjoy America's most talked about burgers as AML Foods Limited prepares to bring the Carl's Jr. franchise to Nassau. The East-West Highway location will be officially opened after a brief ceremony on Thursday evening. Back in March, hundreds of Bahamians lined up in hopes of landing employment at the fast food chain during a job fair. AML's chairman Dionisio de Aguilar said earlier that the company was pushing ahead with plans to launch the fast food chain in the Bahamas, believing that such a move is strategic given the changes in the food industry. And in international news, U.S. food firm Hillshire Brands has said it is buying rival company Pinnacle Foods for a deal worth $6.6 billion. Hillshire's brands include Jimmy Dean, Ballpark, and Sara Lee, while Pinnacle is known for Aunt Jemima and Duncan Hines. The combined company, which will be based in Chicago, is expected to generate $6.6 billion in annual sales. This has been your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm C.S. Scatterly.